the many names we call upon you, and in the many ways we worship you, you are known to all as truth and light, the source of life and of love. We turn to you this day with grateful hearts, as students, families, and friends together celebrate this time of commencement. May those who graduate today live joyfully with the memory of classmates and teachers, moments of insight and achievement. And as they leave the security of their high school days, may your truth guide them in their future inquiry. May your light make every dark place bright. May your love prompt them to serve the neighbor, and your grace allow them to face the future unafraid. With courage and optimism, with faith and dedication to reshape this world on behalf of past and future generations as a place of restored beauty and peace. At work or in college or at play, may these persons whom we honor this day exemplify the values of one nation under God, responsible citizenship, the commitment to justice and freedom, and the respect for the dignity and rights of all people. As they come with expectation, may they...
Another rung on the ladder of life, we have mixed feelings. Sadness at leaving Winchester High School and our friends, but joy and happiness of realizing our accomplishments in anticipation of the challenge back up again. And I realized for the first time that there are going to be many more times in all of our lives when we will want to be wall huggers. When we are going to want to flow on the outside, not make the decisions or lead the ways. So my advice to you today is move away from the wall. Don't be afraid to take a risk and learn to have confidence in yourself. Now that we are graduating, we will be put into a world which is much busier than the junior high or high school hallways. We might be tempted to back out of the scene and be content with what everyone else has to offer. We must not let that happen. In a larger sense, this image of moving away from the wall led me to something even more important, and that is the realization that each of us has something special to give, and that each of us was born with our very own individual talents. Our task now is to go out and...
Jocelyn Hesse. Alexander Lott. Nicholas Rosetto. Katharina Seiler. And last but not least, Ono Wang. Sunday morning, it's April the 29th to be exact, and it had turned out to be one of the most beautiful of Sunday mornings of the spring thus far. It was a morning that the clocks had been advanced 1 hour, and the fact that I had been notified that my son had been ordered to Okinawa for a year in the fall. Whether it was a single factor, or a combination of all three, my thoughts were turning to May and this year's senior class. This year has been a good one, as school years go. Probably the best in many, as seen through the eyes of an aging principal. It has been a year of joyous achievement, and yet it has contained its disappointments and failures, and hasn't that always been so? I acknowledge the college admissions procedures, feeling happy for those who had a multiplicity of choice, and maybe sadness for those who may not have been as fortunate. I live the dreams and the achievements of those who succeeded singularly and or collectively in athletics or other activities. And yet conversely, I feel deeply for those but never felt may be a part of the mainstream of the institution that is Winchester High School. And somewhere, I do understand your anger. I think about questions of fairness or justice and come to the conclusion that while these topics make good philosophical discussions, I am not sure that I can guarantee you that life will either be just or fair. I have felt the apprehension growing as I hear in the corridors during the school day, do you have a prom date yet? And too often, the answer was, I do not. I felt the stirring in you as I heard more statements like, I can't wait until I get out of here. Graduation canceled too soon for me. And as I look back through my mind's eye of experience, I can't help but wonder, what's the hurry? Where is it you want to go? And why are you in such a hurry to get there? And then my thoughts turn to the upcoming senior events, and I wonder whether or not we will have all of you with us on this date, June 3rd, 1984. At this time of the year, I am constantly amazed by how many young people your age tend to think in terms of personal immortality rather than reality. And further, I think to myself, what can I say to these young people that they might be willing to...
Elizabeth Louisa Aubert. Patricia Ann O'Brien. Jane Ellen O'Callahan. Peter Andrew Oliver. Rania A. Pahagianis. Theodore Nick Pappas. Jennifer Deanna Parker. Ann Phillips. Louise Stevenson. Michelle Beth Stolo. Peter Joseph Sullivan. Demetra Sakaris. Signe Marie Owen. James B. Mancini.
Teresa Wang. Sarah Linderholm Warren. Laura Elizabeth Wildman. Elizabeth Ann Wilfred. Catherine Elizabeth Wilk. Michael A. Wunder. Naomi Marlena Yatsuhashi. Elizabeth Ann Young. Would you please stand for benediction? You'll be pleased to know that the words of the benediction are very brief. However, let me tell you the story that surrounds these words. The story in the Bible about two men, Jacob and Laban. Jacob was the father-in-law, Laban was the father-in-law, and Jacob was the son-in-law. And they had a great dispute between them, and Jacob, the son-in-law, left. The father-in-law chased after him. And when they found one another, they made an agreement between them. In order to mark the agreement and the covenant that they made, they erected a stone monument. They called the place Mizpah, and it means a place from which to watch. And they sealed the agreement with the exchange of these very familiar words. May the Lord watch between us while we are absent one from another. Now the context for this benediction in the Old Testament is really not very different from the situation today. For today, you who are seniors like Jacob leave home to start a new life. The comfort and security and dependence is symbolically over with your commencement from high school. You leave one another, your friends, your teachers, your coaches behind you as you go to college and to work and to service. We stand now at a place from which to watch, to see how you do, to see what you do, to see how well you do, and to welcome you back on those occasional moments when you feel the need for us again. And so we say to you, the ancient words that Jacob and Laban said to one another as Laban, the father-in-law, returned to his home, and Jacob went to start a new home. May the Lord watch between us while we are absent one from another. Amen.